5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello and welcome back to In the Field Productions. My name is Zach Hicks, and today I wanted to talk about the professional mentality. Now, what exactly do I mean by professional mentality? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say you always wanted to be a writer. That's your calling and your passion in life. You work your 9-to-5 job 5 days a week, and you save your writing for the weekends. Well, when Saturday and Sunday roll around, something always inevitably comes up. Well, I did miss the last few episodes of that new show that I really like. You know, come to think of it, I haven't talked to Susie in a long time. I wonder what she's up to. I have the sudden intense urge to reorganize my entire closet alphabetically. Yeah, those are great ways to never get your work done. Or maybe you do actually do your work and you do put in your time, but you're overinvested in its success, so you can't bring yourself to put it out there over fear of rejection or failure. The professional does his work. He shows up every day, not just on the weekends. And he doesn't allow resistance and procrastination to cloud his mind. The amateur is too invested in his own success, and in doing so he paralyzes himself and stunts his growth. The professional, on the other hand, assesses his work cruelly. He understands that he is not his work. He takes failure when it comes, learns from it, and grows. There's one artist that stood out in my head when I was thinking about this topic, and that is Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem. Yes, that Eminem. 15-time Grammy Award winner with 43 nominations, 14-time AMA Award winner, the first artist to win a Grammy for the Best Rap Album for 3 consecutive LPs, and the list goes on and on. But where did Marshall's story begin? Marshall was born on October 17, 1972, in St. Joseph, Missouri, to a 15-year-old mother and a father who would inevitably leave them 6 months later. He had a divisive relationship with his mother due to her alleged drug and alcohol addiction. Despite blaming Marshall's father for abandoning them, Marshall's mother would often disappear for extended periods of time and leave Marshall in the care of his Aunt Edna and Uncle Charles, who he would later call his solidity. Life in school wasn't much better for young Marshall, as he was the victim of some serious bullying. He was once put into a coma for 4 days when a group of bullies flipped him over on his head and ran away after they saw that he wasn't moving. Due to the constant bullying, he was forced to switch schools every 2 to 3 months. When he got a little bit older, his Uncle Ronnie introduced him to hip-hop in 1981 with the Breakin' album. He and his Uncle Ronnie were inseparable. They spent a lot of their teenage years together creating their own raps, until Ronnie took his life in 1991. Eminem was so shocked by the news that he couldn't even bring himself to attend the funeral. So up to this point, Eminem had a pretty rough go at things. I want you to ask yourself one thing. Would you have quit? With everything going on in his life, it must have seemed so much easier to him to just let go. Stop trying. Just something to think about. But he didn't quit. In fact, he was so enthralled with rap that he lost all interest in school, failed the 9th grade 3 times, and eventually dropped out. Eminem attended rap contests at the Osborne High School with his friend Deshaun Dupree Holton, who later on became the rapper Proof. Eminem and Proof would go to all contests at West 7 Mile in Detroit.
Oh. My name is Shady. His name is Proof. Yo, we used to have a roof up on my house, but now we had a mouse that ate the cheese out of the fridge. Didn't want to admit that I was on welfare when I was 3. Plus, when I was 4, my mother used to leave. She used to always slam the door and say, goodbye, goodbye, Marshall. I'm leaving, I'm single, and right now I'm going to mingle at bingo. Yeah, see you later, alligators, what she said. But I would always
He wasn't initially accepted by the rap community because of his skin color.
Pre-music, pre-my career, the thing that was said in barbershops was, I mean, he's nice, but the fact that he's white is why he's winning. I'm being honest with you. That's what gets said.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that he's white. And I wasn't able to defend him because I didn't know him.
But he didn't use this as an excuse to quit. He used it as fuel, and he became a battle rapper in the underground rap scene. Over time, he proved his worth and joined a rap group called The New Jacks, and eventually went on to join another group called Soul Intent and recorded his first single with them in 1995. After his success with Soul Intent, his old friend Proof wanted to make another rap group called D12. D12 was extremely successful and helped Eminem form his solo career. So what separates Eminem from all the other rappers? How did he crawl his way from nothing and become arguably the best rapper of our generation? 2 words: work ethic.
What do you think you've learned the most from working with Eminem?
Work ethic.
Yep.
Yeah, Eminem works very, very, very hard. He lives in the studio. He breathes it.
Right.
Not a day goes by. He critiques himself. He's passionate is an understatement.
Eminem got to where he is today because he wasn't a weekend warrior. He knew that he had to show up every single day. He knew that he couldn't treat his dream like a hobby and only do it when it was convenient for him. Let me show you this guy's commitment.
I heard that you used to read the dictionary.
I just felt like I want to be able to have all these words at my disposal in my vocabulary.
He actually keeps them in boxes.
So you store stuff in just in boxes like this?
Yes.
Inside are hundreds of scraps of paper on which he's obsessively scrawled down words and phrases.
This guy has a box full of rhymes and ideas ready to go at the drop of a hat. He's a completely different animal. He doesn't wait for inspiration to strike. He shows up every single day and hunts it down himself. The worst weakness an artist can have is a fear of failure. It can and will cripple and hinder your growth. For the past 7 years of my life, I was so afraid of failure and looking like an idiot that I stopped filmmaking. I stopped doing my dream. And I lost myself because of it. That's honestly the entire reason why that I made this channel. I want to help out other people that might feel the way that I did. Learning how to get over that fear is difficult, but it's absolutely necessary. There will never come a day when everything's perfect. There will never come a day when everything lines up exactly how you wanted it to be. Even at Eminem's position in life, he still has to deal with failure. In 2017, Eminem released an album called Revival, and it was met with widely negative reviews by fans and critics alike. They complained that there were so many features from other artists that it felt like a pop album, and that the artists on the album seemed out of place. Samples from Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll and Zombie by the Cranberries were said to stick out like sore thumbs on the album. Fans and critics felt like Eminem was struggling with a little bit of self-doubt and confusion when making the album, but Eminem had a different opinion. He felt like people had already made up their minds about the album before it was ever even released, due to promotional work and an early release track list. So, in 2018, he concocted a plan to release his newest album without any promotional plan, any warning, nothing. The most that he gave people was at midnight he dropped the album with a tweet, and the tweet said, "Tried not to overthink this one. Enjoy." Kamikaze reached 40.9 million streams on Spotify on its opening day, as opposed to Revival's 27.9 million. Eminem is the consummate professional. He took this failure and used it as an opportunity to grow. He could have sat back and took his loss personally and never made a record ever again, but he can't, because that's not who Eminem is. Eminem's a fighter.
The first time I grabbed the mic, like in front of actual people that mattered, you know what I'm saying? Like at a club, I got booed. I remember that. It was very traumatic for me. And I think I had, at that point, like the 8 Mile thing was kind of, that's what I was taken from or whatever. So I just remember that being so fucking traumatic. And I think I went home like, man, I quit.
Right.
And then, maybe a couple days later, week later, hour later, whatever it was, I don't know. I got the urge to like, nah, man, I gotta get up, gotta do it again.
That's right, thank God.
So, in closing, if you're out there and you're letting fear of failure or resistance stop you from pursuing your dream, stop. You owe it to your future self to just let it go and put the work in, and let the work speak for itself. Don't let your circumstances get in the way. Eminem certainly didn't. If he could pull himself up out of a horrible home life, a horrible surrounding, and not just make something of himself, but to become the best at what he does, what's our excuse? You've only got one life to live. Why not spend it doing what you love? Well guys, that's it for the video. I really appreciate you watching. If you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm gonna do one of these every Sunday in between writing my new short films. I would say my favorite Eminem song is probably Cinderella Man. What's yours? Let me know in the comment box. Keep chasing your dreams, put in the work, you deserve it. Have a great week, and bye-bye. Despite blaming Marshall's father for abandoning them, Marshall's mother would often disappear for long extended periods of time. That's a long ass time. Despite blaming Marshall's father, this is killing me.